Welcome back to another episode of Talking Sports A to Z. We're going to get into just a pretty much strictly an interview this week with my good friend and reporter here in Rochester, New York, covering the Bills, Jenna Cottrell. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. All right, welcome back in, guys. Another episode of Talking Sports A to Z. I'm Alex Busch alongside Drew Zlogar. How's it going, dude?
What's going on,
I do have to say, you look like you just got up from a nap because you're
but
in your background.
Good. I'm ready to get rolling. I am on my bed right now, but lots to get to. I'm really excited for this interview. Jenna seems to be aces and like a really go-getter in this industry. So really excited to get to hear what she has to say and her experience in this field. But how's everything been with you? How was the Father's Day? And catch me up on the past couple weeks.
Good. Just played a lot of golf. I'm playing in a qualifier Sunday, district qualifier, shout out. So I'm
Nice.
grinding every day right now. So it's a lot of fun. But I want to quickly mention just our giveaway we've been doing. This past week we had that combined podcast with the Bottom Line podcast, and their clothing brand that is run by one of their co-hosts as well as kind of a partner on their show. We had a Always Up to Something is the brand name, the clothing brand. We have a giveaway. It's still on our Instagram. We're going to run it for probably another week. We'll
shout out to all of you guys that have already commented. I feel like that's one of our highest engaging posts already, and it's thanks to you guys for engaging with it.
100%. We'll tweet out the link again. It's on our Instagram. You can find the post pretty easy. We'll throw it in our story after we post the podcast this week. But just tag a couple friends in there. Follow both accounts on Instagram, and you'll have a chance to win a little prize pack. They're great guys, great company, and
a comfortable shirt, I must say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're and they got some new stuff that they've kind of come out with and dropped. So if you're looking into it, just take a look at their stuff. So but yeah, without further ado, I would say we just send it to Jenna. All right, now we bring in a special guest, one of my good friends and a reporter here in Rochester, New York, sports reporter covering the Bills with Buffalo Plus and Channel 13 WHAM ABC. Jenna Cottrell, how's it going?
Good. We're good friends. I'm so excited.
Of course we are. Are you kidding me?
That was a very formal introduction.
I know. Wow.
Very formal. It has to be. But, just let's start off the bat. It's been quarantined for a while. I mean, things are opening back up, but, you've been kind of adjusting your life as a sports reporter, especially covering a lot of NFL that is kind of in question. How's it going with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like anything. Like, we're using Zoom. I think probably 3 months ago, I had no idea what Zoom was. But, the NFL holding virtual meetings, we've been able to have a quick taste of just being able to hear from the coaches, quarterback, stuff like that. So, it's working from home, but at least there's been stuff to cover. And now it seems like there's going to be more sports. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, how has the communication been, like, as a reporter to the coaches? So I'm sure after practices in, like, the traditional world in this offseason, you'd have the media scrum and get your questions in a more traditional fashion. How is it in, like, the virtual world? Do you guys get the same kind of liberties to just kind of ask, like, question, or, like, how does that whole process work?
It's definitely so different. So normally, you would just walk up to someone, and even before the camera is rolling, you can kind of like talk with them,
right.
Be able to get them just to like open up a little bit. Now It's like very formalized. You have to raise your hand on Zoom. And classic, this always happens to me. I'll raise my hand initially. There'll be like 80 people in front of me because there's obviously a lot of media.
Yep.
The person before me will take my question. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to ask? Thankfully, there's enough questions to go around, but definitely always a panic that comes before it. But I will say it's been good because, we talked to Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, Sean McDermott. We've talked with Josh Allen. We've talked with a lot of these guys. And, we don't always hear from the coordinators. So that's been encouraging, considering the access has been obviously so limited.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, football kind of being a question mark coming up, how are you guys preparing differently, even mentally, just knowing that, like, you don't even know what you're going to be able to cover, what's going to happen, if the season's going to happen?
Yeah, not gonna lie, like there's a lot of fingers crossing going on. I think we're prepared to kind of for anything. I feel like it's like the NFL, like the coaches and the way they're evaluating things, or things are constantly changing. Obviously, you have to be smart about your health and making sure you don't put yourself at risk. We're not sure exactly at this point what media access will be. I'm expecting it to be, I'm going to go in conservative and realistic and think it's probably going to be a lot more Zoom meetings to start. And then maybe depending on how the season goes, opening up from there. Obviously, I would love to see how it normally is, where we can go into the locker room. But I understand that these are not normal circumstances. So for the most part, it's just, we have no idea what the plan is, but it's having, 25 backup plans ready, because there's a lot of things, like the Bills in particular. So much of Bills Mafia is just so looking forward to this season, considering the expectation. So I know there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of coverage that people want, and we're obviously going to be there for them for that.
Wouldn't that be?
True.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. I was just going to say, from your
you didn't raise your hand.
Right.
Yeah, I have to take the traditions now here, but you've been in the Buffalo media for a few years, so now that the Bills actually seemingly have somewhat of a foundation in place, like McDermott is showing, game in and game out during the seasons, that he's formidable. I think the coordinators have high praise and good experience, and Josh Allen is exceeding expectations, I guess, so far. He was a top pick, but I don't know, from a small school, I know I had a bit of doubts, but he seems like he's meant for that team and that market as well. So now that the expectations are more positive, and you guys had a bit of a run last year, it's like, how has the vibe changed from reporting, and is it more fun for you? And just how has it been transitioning from low level, always chasing Tom Brady's coattails, and now it's kind of an open division?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a lot of people have the Bills as a favorite in the division this year. Initially, when I came in, it was Rex Ryan coaching. And I'm not going to lie, it was very entertaining. Just like Rexisms, talking about how they won the off season, the antics that he had. It was always interesting. He ate a dog biscuit, brought on his brother, Rob, the tandem bicycles they had.
Tandem bike was the best.
The Bills truck that he had.
Literally that.
It was really fun to cover, because every day you knew there was something that Rex was going to do that was just, from my job point, awesome, and people are going to want to hear about. But obviously, I feel like the Bills kind of, to their credit, overcorrected and now have a coach like Sean McDermott, who you were going to get in season, a very deliberate, thought out type of approach to the media, type of game planning, everything that goes into it. And it has been really fun. Look, when I first started covering the team, playoffs were like in a drought, the drought was real.
Yeah.
For McDermott to come in and break the drought in his first year, and then to go back, twice in 3 years. I think obviously it's been 2 playoff losses. I think initially no one expected them to go early for the 2017 season. But last year, I think there's a foundation, like you said. They have so much stability and continuity coming back. And I think because this offseason has just been so incredibly strange, that right now is something that they need to capitalize on, because so many, can you imagine if you were a team that had a new head coach? You haven't even met your team in person yet. And definitely. It's going to be July.
Yeah.
So I think it's huge. But the Bills have to take advantage, and they definitely know that.
Yeah, it would be the most Buffalo thing ever to make some noise when you can't even have fans.
You know what? I was actually obviously all the primetime games, everyone's so pumped for in terms of Bills Mafia. And I'm like, that is so classic. There's the possibility.
All bets are off. Literally, all bets are off. No one knows.
Finally having a playoff home game potential, and it might not.
I know, but it's been so cool because initially when I started covering the beat, people were like, "Oh, you cover the Bills," haha. And now to see just what's gone on there, and even now free agents want to come to Buffalo. Initially it was like, ooh, you got sent to Buffalo, or people didn't want to be there, but the culture has just changed so much. So it's been fun to see that, because at first when Sean McDermott came in preaching the process, guys have to buy into that for that to work. So it was kind of an experiment. obviously the guys have bought in. You know, Lorenzo Alexander, a huge example of that. But it's been cool to see just kind of the challenges that the team has overcome. And then now it's like, okay, there's expectations, and there hasn't been in a pretty long time.
Do you sense, I'm sure you're into the analytics side of things, and is there more, are you seeing like an uptick in clicks and views, and just, are you seeing from an analytical standpoint that actually like the fans are buying into the daily beat and the daily, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I would say probably, I don't want to overshoot. I'd say probably like 85% of fans, if not more, love Josh Allen, love Sean McDermott. And I think especially now, you're raising your hand, Alex, but I think especially now, you know, since there has been this downtime in sports, I think people are so hungry for that type of content. But no, I mean, you know, if you hashtag something Bills Mafia and it's Josh Allen, it's probably going to do well.
Especially if he's wearing shorts.
If he's wearing shorts.
Oh my gosh, warm-up pictures with shorts will kill.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I will sometimes text Alex before a game because we're obviously, you know, normally on the sidelines. I have a still camera. I'm getting pictures before, and I'll text Alex and be like, what should I title this? Because I know, obviously, hashtag content. You're good at that, Alex. But, I mean, people love it. People love it because you're right there, and, you know, it's access that a lot of people don't get, and I know that we are very appreciative of getting it.
So, speaking of being right there on the sidelines, can we talk about why Mike Evans is your favorite football player?
Because he didn't murder me. For the backstory.
Wait, I need the backstory.
I saw this picture the other day randomly, and I just dying all over again.
For the backstory, a couple years ago when the Bills played the Bucks, you know, I'm on the sideline because I also use my video camera to shoot the game while it's going on. So Bucks were driving. You know, we were right in the end zone, right there waiting with our cameras. I was right by the goal line. I know you're going to get a picture of it. It's so bad. So Jameis Winston drops back. The ref screens him, so I don't know where the ball is.
Oh, boy.
And then Jameis, it's great.
My God.
That's me with the ugly beige vest on, taking a tumble. Wow. Mike Evans caught a touchdown pass. Trey White and Mike Evans knocked into me. I don't know how I was totally fine. Like, I jumped right back up.
Oh, I bet the adrenaline was crazy.
Oh, I was
just look at that dedication.
Yeah.
That is wild. Look at you.
Yeah, no, it was my mom like immediately called me when you know it's not good. Yeah, I don't know how I survived, but I honestly was fine. And then, you know, I'd been on a bit of a health journey. So I was just, you know, I was thankful that I was okay.
Yeah.
But it was, I'm just thankful I didn't die.
Greatest moment ever.
You're like truly.
The best part is I was at that game with Jordan, and I remember seeing this, and we're like, no, there's no way. And then it's on Twitter.
Oh my God, we were driving home, and my boss, Mike Catalano, you know, he was like, this is going to be a big deal. And I was laughing. I was like, Mike, no one cares. Like no one at all. And the Fox cameraman right after it happened looked at me and he's like, I just put you on national TV. And I was so embarrassed that I just started like laughing and like, oh my gosh, like I can't, you know, like that's not terribly mortifying. So then I walked away and then my phone was just blowing up. So it definitely was. Yeah, it was fun. And Mike Evans reached out after. Which everyone knows. If you know me, I'm not agile at all. Like I trip walking on a daily basis, so I don't know how.
Got elite speed.
I mean, I was an athlete. Emphasis on the was though. So
put a camera in her hand and then she becomes an athlete again.
Yes, I didn't break the camera. I was so scared I broke the camera.
Which is worse, that or the football going right into Dan's face?
That was pretty funny as well. That one, my coworker Dan Fates, we have that well documented as well. Yeah. It's you know, here's the thing: an NFL game moves so fast. Like obviously, there's a bump up from high school to college to the NFL. Though, I mean, to see how hard these guys are hitting and how quickly they're moving, it's insane when you're right there. And I think you know, learn that firsthand. Yeah. Hopefully, don't knock on wood have to learn it like that again, though.
That's crazy.
I mean, you kind of touched on it in that, but I mean, you've been on a journey. You know, you went through a health journey. That's what you said. I'm taking your words, but like, just a legend at everything. In kind of pushing through. You know, how has that taught you in your career, and even as a person, I guess too.
Yeah, I guess for people that don't know, I'm actually a cancer survivor. So I had stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I was diagnosed in January of 2017. I had to get surgery. I went through chemo. And I guess my biggest thing is just, there's obviously like dark days, absolutely. But my thing is just like, I love what I do. And I think I'm really fortunate to do what I love to do. So obviously I kind of had to take a step back when I was getting treatment and everything, but I think it just gives you an appreciation for everything so much more, like little stuff. Like I get caught up in it, but it doesn't matter. I guess my biggest thing is just don't take it for granted, and I think sometimes, especially like with social media, it's so hard to not see like so many people living their best life and everything. But I just kind of realized that like you're running your own race, right? And maybe it doesn't look like how you thought it was going to look like, but that doesn't make it wrong or bad. And, I try and carry that with me every day. And I don't know, it's made me who I am. And sometimes I'm not exactly like thrilled that I've been through what I've been through, but at the same point, I'm proud of who I am. And I know I have things to work on, but I think it's given me a perspective that a lot of other people don't have. And I think it's a good perspective to have.
I think it's incredibly like admirable, and I can't even imagine, but I almost have to sense that since you went through that like incredible like period, does it almost take the nerves out of your profession? Like, oh hell, if I went through what I went through in 2017, like I'm not talking about sports. So I know that there's times when like we're doing what we're doing, we're at an NBA game or we're about to interview a WNBA player. Like I always felt like a good amount of butterflies and like, oh boy, like here we are. But I'm sure that almost in a sense you're like, this is house money. This is like, I'm literally at a football game performing. Does it take the nerves out?
I mean, I would say like, I like to think that like everything is the cherry on top. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Like everything. I do still get nervous
right now.
What do you quote machine? Just shut up. No, I just think like I do get nervous though, definitely, because I get so excited. I'm like the little kid in Up. Like I'm just like I love what I do. Yeah. So there's times where I'm like, okay, like I gotta focus. I want to make this really good because I also have very high expectations on myself, and I want to make sure it's like to my level, and I always want that level to grow. So there's time. Honestly, I find it helps the most when I'm working out. Like, do you know when you're working out and you're like, I don't want to do this, like I can't do this, and then I picture myself in my head going to infusion and getting chemo, and I'm like, okay, I can finish this set. Like it sucks, but like no, I can do this. And I think it gave me a lot of confidence in like I can do this. Like I'm equipped and I've been through shit before. And can I swear? Oh, can I swear?
Of course you can.
Okay. I didn't know. I panicked. But no, I think it gives you definitely a sense of understanding that you and your body are capable of a lot more than mentally what you put restrictions on.
That's awesome. Well said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't want it to sound cheesy though. Like
it's true. Like it's 100% true. And I think that probably helped you in your career for just being able to kind of take everything with a whole different mindset that you never had.
Yeah. I think that's why, like, doing this job, being a woman in sports, obviously I'm very lucky because there's been women in sports while I was growing up. Maybe not a lot initially, but now there's so many women. But there's those days where you kind of have to fight back stuff or, things are not the same. But I think of like, how much I've been through, how much I don't want to say love that, but like, it's a challenge, and I do like a challenge, and I don't want another health challenge, but I think it teaches you so much, like hardships are important in developing who you are and understanding who you want to be in the future.
Mm.
I'm inspired as fuck.
That fires me up. I have to say,
I'm about to run through a brick wall right now.
All right.
No, you're everything you're saying is perfect and correct. I'm just telling you.
So the reason I love sports and I wanted to pursue sports is because cancer, unfortunately, in my family is not just relegated to me. Growing up, my brother had leukemia. He's in remission now. He's totally fine. He's been in remission for over a decade. But I always loved hearing, growing up, him being sick and how my family adapted to that and reacted to that is what made me who I was. And I think it's so interesting to hear, like when I went to college, I went to Syracuse as a psychology major.
Shout out.
Because, go SU, go Orange. But because I loved hearing people's stories and like how that shapes them and who that makes them want to be and how that makes them who they are. Yeah. And then I got in my psych lecture and they were talking about Freud and like, I just hated it. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do research. Like I want to talk to people. Yeah. And then I just find like the reason I love sports is obviously I followed it growing up. I played soccer, I played lacrosse, I did everything. But I think sports in particular are just an escape for people. And sports have gotten people through so many hardships in their life. They're like me being able to hopefully take someone's story and share it and do a good job with it. Like that makes me so excited. And like, it's such an honor for me to get to do that. And like, even when I was sick, like, I can't tell you how important it was for me to go to work because I just think sports are amazing. Like, I know, I feel like that sounds like it's cliche sounding, but I just think what they're capable of and how important they are. I just think it brings so many people together and through so many issues that.
I mean, you're totally right. Yeah. And it's actually a perfect segue. I kind of just wanted to get your quick thoughts about, I know we're switching gears here a bit, but the NBA restart. We have the date, July 30th. We have the venue. We have the whole situation, the bubble. We all know the
Lakers are going to win the title.
How do you feel that's going to go? I mean, you're seeing a crazy amount of cases being brought up in Florida and other states that have been open like more freely than other states during this pandemic. And you're now starting to see some players give a little pushback. And some of it is due to the social injustice reform that they want to see and they want to be a part of. But they also are saying like, you're going to basically be locking me in a campus away from my family, away from my like other life that frankly, my life, not other life, for months on end. And so in my opinion, it's like, I agree. Sports are crucial. And we're seeing with the way our world is right now, we need sports more than ever before. But I can also see that human decency side of things of like, there are more important things than sports. A global pandemic that is affecting a lot of these athletes' lives, whether it's directly or indirectly through the family. And now the social injustice, it's like, I just wanted to know your take and how everything is shaping out in the media and how it's been covered and talked about. How do you think about this whole NBA restart?
I mean, I think like I get both sides, completely. Like right. I think people do right now, they want sports, they're craving sports to have kind of that unity and be able to have, there's been so much, sadness and destruction and just, people like, I think the social injustice movement has been huge and that's so important. Right. And I don't want that to be taken away if there's a distraction by sports. But I also understand how people are wanting to kind of get things back to normal because of how the pandemic has been. But I also get that these guys are athletes, but they're also people and they don't want to be away from their families and their loved ones. And I think, while I hope there are sports, obviously like my career is dependent on all of that. I think it's important too, to realize that this moment is unprecedented in so many different ways. And above all else, the health and safety of people is what comes first. So if it's not right to go back to playing sports, then it's not right. Now we'll have to see. That it's dependent on how many people are okay with doing it, how many people are tested positive, how many people do want to come back to sports, or they want to focus their interest on other things. And I think that majority will kind of feel itself out, and whatever is the majority will be what happens. But, I think when the pandemic hit, first of all, I never thought that they would cancel the NCAA tournament. Like I thought, I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
I never thought that would ever happen.
Right. And, but now to see where things have gone and to see where this social injustice
Words are
is
hard.
going. Yeah, they are hard. I think maybe we needed to not have sports to have this game attraction that it has. Mm-hmm. And I think it's been so important for so many people. So I don't know the answer, honestly. I mean, I don't know if sports coming back, if it's the right time. I think we'll see quickly. I mean, a part of me does want it to come back. Absolutely. But a part of me also understands that maybe this is, the framework of something larger that needs to happen.
But the other fact that I think about is that sports kind of lift this platform that players have to speak their speak up. Mm-hmm. Especially with basketball coming back, it's pretty obvious that they're going to be wearing warm-up shirts and having mm-hmm. saying things in interviews and all that kind of stuff. So I almost think it's kind of on that side that they need to look at it that way. But obviously it's really a tough situation. Like literally we have never dealt with any of this shit ever before, outside of like coming in at the same time with sports coming back, Yeah,
so. Absolutely. I don't think anyone expected sports to ever go away. So now it's like, how do you address them coming back? Is it safe? I don't know. I mean, I think I just want to make sure that for as much as we love sports, it is the appropriate time. And I think that we'll have to wait and see.
Whoever thought sports would be gone for like 4 months. Like, what the hell?
It really
I know.
So crazy. Like when I'm searching through my TV guide last night, and it's like, do I want to watch Jimmy V's SB speech again? It's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Nothing.
I can only watch the Cavs 2016 Game 7 like so many times.
1992 MLB home run derby. Like what?
Wow. I've been watching horse racing. Well, I like horse racing.
I do too. Shout out.
But yep. Shout out to Capital District.
Yep.
But no, I have friends watching Korean baseball, English Premier League. Like
I watch Russian table tennis.
No, it is crazy.
Have you bet on them?
Yeah, that's why I was watching it. I was streaming it because I bet on it.
Okay, that sounds more like you.
That is right.
I know you touched on this earlier. I kind of want to get back to like your career, and we had this conversation a few weeks ago when you were interviewing Maria Taylor. I remember you saying that, just seeing those kind of figures being so successful and so really just badass in their positions in their fields. How has that inspired you, and how is talking to those kind of people help you in your career?
I just think it's huge to have role models, and I have a lot of role models. It's not just one person in particular, but I think at the same point, like seeing someone who is like you succeeding, I think that's really important. And I think, like I said, I'm really lucky. Like some people are like, oh, you're a pioneer. Like, no, there's plenty of women that are in my same level of position, or they're, way above at a network or something like that. But I also think it's super important just to have as many voices as possible talking about, these are people we're covering, and there's people who are watching and digesting this information. So I think it's important. But I love seeing a badass woman. Like that to me is just so inspiring, because I don't want to say it's validating, but there's things that you go through because of your own particular experience. I'm a woman in sports. There's things that I do that are different than my male counterparts, and they have different experiences sometimes as well. But it's just so nice to have other people completely understand where you're coming from. It's really encouraging. And I love to see how much, initially I felt like it was kind of catty, and, I was kind of scared of that because, sometimes when women come together, it's not always a positive experience. But honestly, it's been like nothing but love from, female reporters that I've run into. And just in general, like, I feel like the industry is really like wants women to succeed. And it's been really encouraging and just honestly awesome to see.
Knowing that, and I think it's totally true. It's like the more we continue to like grow as a society, we're seeing so many like crazy, just female public figures in our industry. Having your experience of going to Syracuse, but as like a psych major, but then seeing that you wanted to transition, like, what would you tell kind of an aspiring reporter or someone that wants to get into this industry that maybe isn't on the fast track yet with a broadcasting major, or it's like he or she is starting to develop those interests and things to iron out those skills to it's never too late. Like I know I always try to preach that it's never too late. Like if you have the passion, you need to go for it because
you just never know. That's all.
I guess
you just never know.
Look at Busch's tattoo.
You just never know. That's all good.
Yeah, no, like some words regarding that.
I think for me, so I actually was a psych major, then I changed my major and became a broadcast journalism major. But regardless of that, like it's all about the opportunities that you take. Like I did internships. I think that was the most important thing for me is like, that's when I really solidified like, oh, I really want to do this. Is just going to a station, and stations love interns, you're not going to get any money. They're not going to pay you.
I was one.
How'd you get that one? No, I'm kidding.
The plug. I love it.
Sorry. Had to do a heat check. No, I just think, like, it's just, you can really see if you want to be in the industry. You're going out with a reporter every single day, or you're seeing what it's like back at the station. And, it takes time, but at the same point, I think it's so much better to realize, hey, maybe this isn't for me early on than to go through your entire major and then be like, shit, I don't actually like this. So I would say internships for me were huge and probably the biggest thing that I could recommend.
It's awesome.
So, Jenna, what's your Bills record?
My Bills record?
Yep.
From last year?
No, what's your Bills record this year, your prediction?
Oh, my prediction. Oh, I was like,
what you think I was asking?
Well, no, because we like try and predict the games.
Oh, yeah. No.
So I was like, I know I won. Last year I won. I beat Dan Pace.
Shout out.
Which I just realized I didn't change my name to actually my name on here.
It doesn't show it. You're fine.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you beat Dan, but then he bet on Dan. No, he didn't because he's covering them, so it's a whole different thing.
I beat Dan and Mike. This year, okay, I'm going to go conservative. I'm going to say 10-6. I think
10-6.
Well, I do. I think
which would still be an improvement.
Yes, 10-6 in playoffs. I think while they are a more talented team this year, I think they're also playing a more talented schedule. That is why I don't have them with 11 or 12 wins. I think Miami has the potential to be good this year. I could see, look, the Jets, I don't know, but I don't think I don't think it's going to be a sweep. Like people, I personally think people are like checking off wins. Like, I don't know if I would do that. I think especially considering this offseason and how weird it's going to be, I feel like the beginning of the season, teams are still going to be ramping up. So you're not going to get a finished product. Look, I know it's progression from, month one of the season till the end, but at the same point, just I think with the way things are going, there's going to be a lot of sorting out periods still when the regular season starts.
There's a lot of games in the beginning of the season. Any team can lose that they should win or win that they should lose for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I'm also not a Bills fan. Like while I enjoy covering the team, what did you say?
I said aware. Never mind. Forget it. Over your head.
So I guess I'm a little bit more conservative than maybe some other people. But, I mean, I still think they're going to be good. Hey, if you told me 10-6 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah.
Oh, my God. I'd be like, Super Bowl. Like, I mean, 8-8 was like, that was a good year. So.
Right. No, I think 10 Busch, that was one of our first segments like ever, but I think we're aligned that we I think the Bills are good enough to win that division, but I also do think, like, I'm a Jets fan personally, and I am cautious.
I love that she called out the Jets.
I'm cautiously optimistic about our season, but I do think that Miami is going to be better than people expect.
Yep, I agree.
Oh no!
And then Bill Belichick is still coaching.
It's still Bill Belichick.
The Patriots are going to win 7 games.
But even if they're going to win 7 games, they're going to have to win a couple division games, I feel.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah, I guess.
It's still Bill Belichick. Like,
I
have a hard time disregarding him. Still Bill.
Crazy.
Still not Bill. I know.
Yeah.
I'm curious what Jared Stone will be.
Yeah. Oh God. It's literally, I could see them winning 5 games or 12 games, like legit.
Oh, same.
Every time you count them out. But the thing is, every time you count them out, they come back. That was with Brady. So it's going to be a whole different.
It was the best quarterback of all time. Now it's way different, but it's still Bill Belichick.
I don't know. We shall see. Yeah, I mean, I got, nothing else. It's good talking with you. I'm glad to see your golf swing on Thursday. This should be a lot of fun.
I'm excited. I'm so nervous.
We might have to get a video of that, Busch.
Oh, you think I'm not going to? Are you kidding me?
You can't do like
a little side by side, little Busch.
Oh yeah.
No, what about Jenna's right next to Tiger? Does that work?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's really encouraging. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No. It's all love. Yeah, I mean, Drew, you got anything else?
I don't. Thank you for coming on. It's I always get fired up talking to like successful people in our industry, and I don't know. Your story is really admirable. So thanks for taking some time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Shout out.
Go Orange.
Okay, thanks again, Jenna, for coming on. Really good talking with her, Busch. Shout out to the Rochester fam. She's in your friend circle, but she's an impressive person, and the fact that she's seen the evolution of the Bills going from basement to now a playoff run last year, and who knows what the heights are and the limits are for them this coming season. God willing that we have this season, but anything that stuck out to you from speaking with her?
Yeah, I mean, I've known her for a while. I've known kind of everything about it, but it was good to hear, just kind of reaffirming all those, just the mindset she has, because I've known she'd had it, but we haven't really talked deep into that. And it's really good to hear, like any aspiring journalist or even people that are just looking to get in the sports field, especially, women and people going through, shit, especially right now.
Right.
So like, think back on what she's saying and the whole mindset of, being that kind of person who's taking the right mindset in the career and really making something of it. So, yeah, one of my best friends, she's the best. So it's really good to kind of connect her on here.
100%. Yeah. I think we promote the people that we bring onto the pod to interview, and something that I think I can take pride in is that the people that we bring on are going to be receptive to you guys if you have any questions of like getting into the industry, or if you're already in the industry and you're maybe feeling in a rut or lacking confidence in this way or that way. It's like she is a perfect example of any opportunity that she has in front of her. She is just grateful, and you realize that when you're grateful and truly grateful, like genuine about it, you realize how just how much more fun you can have, and you're not going to get sidetracked by little blips in the radar, because there's always going to be that. And I think she's a great example of kind of rolling with the punches and feeling just overall enthusiasm of what you're doing makes you that much better at what you do.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that while she was talking, I was kind of flashing back to when we talked to Natalie and Tina, and they have that kind of similar mindset, which I should probably connect her and Tina, because Tina's, in the business as well. And
yeah.
So, I mean, it's a small world. So,
look at that.
But yeah, I know. I mean, it's, I like that we continue to bring on guests that are going to give, kind of good, good little words of wisdom for people, even for
100%.
ourselves. I mean,
oh no, it fires
same
me
way.
up. Like I love talking about it myself, but the fact that we can also bring it out to you guys in the public listening to us, it's a win-win. for sure. And you're going to be golfing with her on Thursday, so you make it a win-win-win because it sounds like you'll have a better swing than her.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good episode, good fun to do that kind of full length interview for the episode. You know, we'll be back at it next week. We're not sure how we're going to go about next week. We'll figure that out in the coming days. But, you know, as we talked about on the top of the episode, you know, check out the giveaway we're doing with Always Up to Something. Follow them and us on Instagram. Always Up to it's We're Talking Sports AZ, and they are at _always up to something _ on Instagram. So, you know, give a little love in the comments there, because we're looking to do a giveaway. And who says that we only do one? Because, you know, I know Steve's receptive to kind of doing stuff, because we're getting some good traction on that from you guys. So, yeah. And I mean, from me, I'm good on the episode. It was good talking to you again.
Yeah, man. That's it for me too. But we're looking forward to the next episode. And thanks again. And thanks as always for you guys for sticking with us and listening. So everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you guys all soon.